Today we're going to do oil changes. We're going to do it on two bikes, but it's going to be two separate videos for people that might have different bikes. The first one is going to be on a 2012 Harley Davidson Street Glide, and the second video will be on the 2013 Softail Deluxe. So anyways, for both bikes though, you're going to need to get your owner's manual out, and this is your owner's manual. And just to show you, here's the service manual, the official service manual. It's going to be for heavier repairs and stuff. You don't need it for the oil change, but I did want to show you that if you're going to do maintenance, you do need to buy a service manual. Everything for an oil change though is in the owner's manual. I don't use a low profile oil pan. I just use a cheap thing. I got it AutoZone. You need a funnel. You're going to need some Torx wrenches. That's just different size sockets, you know, for the smaller drive wrenches. Here's your oil filter. We're going to do O-rings on it today. Bought an oil filter wrench. This is to measure out the amount of oil for your primary. I've got a funnel for the primary. It just makes it easier. You can use another one though and save $11 if you don't want to do that. And some shop towels and oil, of course. The first thing you need to do is just take the bikes out and get them warmed up. We just took a short ride to lunch and had lunch, came back. So these things are good and hot. And so the first thing you're going to do is I'm going to try to get under here real good. And you can see way up under here, right there, that's going to be your crankcase. So we're going to end up taking that one off first. So we're going to get a 5/8 inch drive out and get it down there. We're going to loosen the nut first, and then we'll finish it with our fingers into the oil pan. So there we go. Should be a good view of it. Loosen it up. You'll feel it loosen to the point where you can do it with your fingers. It's not quite there yet. Okay, so I got it loose where I can get it with my fingers. So we're going to slide that oil pan under there. This is really going to be tough to get video of. And then we'll stick our hands under there. We're going to hopefully do this without dropping the GoPro in the oil today. That'd be nice. There you go. Oil's coming out. Okay, so we got the oil started to drain. Now it's not going to drain completely until we take the dipstick off. And once we unloosen this, it's going to release that vacuum, and that oil is going to come out. So let's see if we can get back so you can see all of it. So this is for your crankcase. There we go. Now I see the oil coming out. That'll get it flowing pretty good. While that's draining, you can inspect your oil plug. Looks real good. There's no buildup on that plug at all. You can see a little bit of the rubber came off from the O-ring, so we'll end up taking that off and replacing it. All right, so we're going to take the O-ring off. Just get it in there, kind of rub it around in a circle. It'll come off, and you can just throw it away once you get it off. My hands are slippery with oil right now. There we go. Okay, now while that's draining, we're going to take the oil filter off. This is a mess. That's all there is to it. There's no way around that. It's up here in the front, right above the voltage regulator. Come around to the side here. You can see it there. So what I do, and it helps quite a bit actually, is I just come in here and I start shoving some blue shop towels in there, and that'll catch a good portion of the oil that's going to come out so that you don't have too much of a mess. It's messy though. I mean, there's just no way around it. That's why we like to give our bikes a bath after we're done. Then we're going to use this oil filter wrench. You can get them at Harley. I think it's about 10 bucks or something like that. So stick it on there, and all you do is just use it to break it loose. That's it. All right, so we got the oil filter wrench on. Just loosen it a little bit, a couple turns. You'll feel it really loosen up. There it goes. It just broke loose. You can take this off. And do the rest with your hand. What I like to do is get in there, and once I feel it break loose, I'll kind of lift the back part up. There we go. And you won't get as much oil all over the place then. It's still messy though. Okay, so the filter's off. Let's go ahead and look in there. You can see all the oil how it kind of dripped down on the towels. Some of it does get down here. I put cardboard down. You can see it down there. That's not too bad, really. And then we'll just wipe the rest off and wash it real good once we're done changing all the oil. All right, so I'm just going to pour all the oil out of the filter into the oil pan. And we can dispose of all of it at one time. All right, as you can see now, this has only been about 2 minutes. It's barely dripping. So while we've got it this far, I'm just going to slide this out of the way. Only a few drops coming out now. Not too worried about it. Blot it a little bit. Should be all right. I'm not even going to put the plug back in yet. What I want to do is try to get under here to show you the transmission, because we're going to do that today too. So if I move this out of the way, the transmission one's right up under here. It's inside of this hole they put in the frame. So I'm going to go right up under there. That hopefully it'll come out clear for you to see it. It's the same socket as we used for the other one, and we're going to put that under there and just kind of feel around. It'll go right on. Comes right off. Loosen it up. Same way. Okay, when you get it loose, you really can't reach up in there. Your fingers, or at least mine, just won't fit. So I leave the extension with the socket on it, and I get it real loose so that we can pull the tray under it once I feel it break loose from the threads. Alright, so I'm moving the pan over. I feel that it's really loose. There it is. It's almost there. Now I can take the extension off, slide the pan under it. There it comes. There's your transmission fluid. Aim it down. Okay, so this is your transmission fill cap. So we're going to take it out. It'll be the same as the oil. It will drain more once we get it out. This is a 3/8" Allen wrench. So there it is. Pull that out. All right, same thing here. I'm going to take it, inspect it. There's absolutely no buildup there on the magnet. That's a little bit of liquid Teflon. I put a little bit on there all the time. It helps from vibrations, from it vibrating loose, and also helps seal it. So we're going to take that O-ring off. You can see it's wore pretty good. I didn't change it last time. It's a good practice to change it every time, but I always inspect it. It's only $1 for 3 of them. So we're going to take that O-ring off and replace it like we did for the crankcase. All right, so I took the O-ring off. As you can see, it's pretty messed up. It's tore it pretty good. And then here's my new ones that we'll replace them with. Okay, we're going to also clean the threads real well, especially since I use the liquid Teflon. Some people don't. I like to. I'll stick my fingernail in there, basically unscrew it, and it'll move all that stuff down the threads until it comes off at the end. And then you'll have a nice clean plug. Okay, so now we're going to take the new O-ring, just slide it on, roll it so it doesn't snag. It's got a little fit right in there. It'll actually move around real easily once you get it on correctly. Then we're going to take our liquid Teflon, mix it up in the jar a little bit. Tube. Doesn't take much. This is an old tube. I've used this 2 years now. There you go. Get a little drop on there. Turn it. Roll it in there. And that's all you need. Okay, so while all that's draining, which it's draining really well, we're going to put the oil filter on. There it is, the new one. I use black. It's $3 cheaper. And the way I see it, it's down there where nobody can see it anyways. And it's not a show bike, so I really just rather save the $3. So open a quart of oil up. And what you're going to do is you're going to stick your finger in there. And we're going to rub some oil around that rubber seal. What that does is it allows it to slide, lubricates it so that when we tighten it, it won't bind and cause the seal to come off, which could cause an oil leak. Now what I like to do also is it's empty. So if you fill this thing now, and you don't have to fill it all the way, fill it about halfway. I don't think you're going to be able to see that. And just kind of roll it around. What will happen is if you don't do this and you just put the recommended amount of oil in your crankcase, once that pump kicks in, you're going to lose almost 1/3 of a quart of oil into your filter. And a couple days down the road, if you check your oil, you're gonna see you're gonna have to add oil to it. Basically, you'll add 1/3 of a quart. So you can get some of it in there now, and you won't have to add as much later on. Okay, so it's gonna be kind of hard to see, but there's where the oil filter goes. I'm gonna wipe it off, make sure there's no oil on there with a blue towel, shop towel. And we're gonna stick this in there. And you don't use a wrench to tighten this. It goes on only with your hand. So there you go, it spins real good. Once you feel it grab, what you're going to do is you're going to turn it 1/2 turn to 3/4 of a turn. So just kind of eyeball, or if you have a chrome one, you can take a pin and you can mark on there a line and then turn it till it's halfway or 3/4 of a turn with your hand. So what I like to do sometimes is, since it's on its side, we don't have a stand. I'm not going to buy one to hold the bike upright. I'll just grab by the handlebar, turn it up, and hold it there for a minute. And now, if you look underneath, you can see we're draining some more transmission fluid now. And that'll get the last little bit out. Just hold it here for a minute or so and wait for it to stop running smooth like that. And when it starts dripping like that, we can let it back down and get ready to put our plugs back in. Okay, I just took a little break there to go dispose of the oil. We have we put in milk jugs and take it to AutoZone, and that way they dispose of it properly and recycle it. So you can see I also changed the cardboard out. We get the cardboard free at the post office. It's packing boxes, express mail. So it works great. You can just pull it out once you've made a mess and throw the cardboard away and throw another one under there, and you're good and clean. I got my plugs all set up, so we're going to go ahead and put those in, and then we'll start with filling it back up. I start it with my fingers. That avoids any cross-threading that could occur if you use the socket. Now it's tight, but that's okay. I know it's in there properly that way. And we tighten it up. Okay, so when you tighten it up, in the owner's manual it says 14 to 21 foot-pounds. I do have a torque wrench. I do not use it. I probably should. I've been doing it a long time. So I've got it tight, and I just feel it. And there we go. It's on. So get back up under here. Hopefully you can see that. Now we're going to go to the transmission one, which will be right there. Hopefully I don't get a drop of oil on the GoPro. Now, the difference with this one is, once again, I can't get my fingers in there, so I put the plug inside the socket with an extension, and that way I can get it up in there. I wipe around the hole itself, take it in there, and you'll feel it. There it is. And just turn it with your hand. That way you don't cross-thread it. There we go. It's in there good, and then I can put the wrench on it. Okay, same as the other one, 14, 21 foot-pounds. It's tight, I can feel it just tightened up. There we go. That's it. We'll move it up here. You can see it once again. It's right under there. So now we're ready to fill. Okay, I use the recommended Harley synthetic. It's actually not full synthetic. It's 60/40. But it does work in all 3 holes, and I've never had a problem with it. Gets to 105, 110 here in Texas, and like I say, I've got no wear. Stuff just works great, no matter what anybody might say about it. So my crankcase says initially add 3 quarts. Mine takes all of 3 quarts, usually a little bit more, and it will, especially if you don't put some in that oil filter like we did earlier. So I just use a standard funnel and basically start pouring, just put 3 in right away. Okay, that was 3 quarts. That took about 2 minutes. It flowed pretty slow in that little funnel. So let's pull the funnel out. Use a paper towel. It's kind of hard with one hand and a GoPro in the other. Then we'll put our cap back on, and that'll be it. And what we'll do is we'll ride it for a couple days, and usually have to add a little bit more, but you won't have to add that much if you do this a couple times. And like I say, if you fill that oil filter up before you put it in, then it'll really eliminate a lot of that. So next we're going to fill the transmission. Use the same funnel, stick it down in there. Okay, so if you go back to your owner's manual on this, and it shows you even where it's supposed to be on the dipstick. For all models, you know, it's using the synthetic 2050. Mine says 28 ounces. I always it takes my bike 1 full quart, 32 ounces. This will be my 8th oil change, actually 9th on this bike because of the 1,000-mile one. And every time, if I use 1 quart exactly, that's what works for my bike. And it keeps it right there in the middle of the X. This is kind of hard to see. It's chrome and the oil is golden, so it's pretty hard to see. So, like I said, mine takes 1 quart. You have to learn your bike. Manual says 28 ounces, but it's just not enough. It always brings it too far below the mark. Okay, so I got the cord in there. Get this like that. That way we don't drip all over the place. Go ahead and just clean around the hole a little bit. Now what I like to do, there's a little brown O-ring on this too. Seems like about every 3 oil changes that wears out. This one's good this time, so I didn't have to change it. But make sure that you get one of those. Just keep in stock if you're going to do this. That way you'll have it for every oil change. Put it on there. Get your 3/8 inch Allen wrench. Tighten it down. That's it. I guess I better go show you how to check it too. Let's take it back out. The transmission, you don't check all the way in. You check it just by sitting the dipstick on top. So let's wipe it. So that's all you do for your transmission. And when you pull it out, as you can hopefully see, it's right there between the X's, which is 1 quart for mine. Well, that was the transmission and the crankcase. If I wasn't GoProing it, we would have done that in about 30 minutes. So pretty quick to do. Now we're going to go ahead and do the primary. I do all 3 holes every time I do this. So if we get under here, we're on the left side of the bike now. And there's your drain plug. So we'll loosen it just like we did the other ones, and then slide the pan under and let it drain. Okay, so we've almost got it off. I'm going to go ahead. I got the drain pan under it. Finish with my fingers here. Maybe a little tighter than I thought. There we go. Let that drain. Same thing. So now you'll see this in your primary. You'll always get some buildup there. Always. That's not excessive. That's actually pretty good. So I'm real happy about that. But we'll wipe it off just like we did the other ones. Pull the O-ring off, check it, and replace it if necessary. Usually you'll have to. You can see that one's really tore up bad, so we'll have to replace it just like the others. Okay, now we're going to take the cover off. It's the clutch inspection cover is what it's called. You just loosen them all. I'm using a T27, Torx number 27 is what it is. Just break those loose. And you can actually take the socket off and it comes off easier. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to take the top one off. That way as I get the rest off, it'll hang off that top one and I won't drop it into the oil. I'm just doing this while it's draining. So as you can see, now I don't drop it into the oil. Then I can hold it while I do the last one. And pull it off. Okay, so once I get the cover off, you'll see in here there's a gasket. My dog's going crazy out there. Be real careful if you take that gasket out because it's hot. And if you wipe it with it out hot, it stretches it and it won't go back in, and you'll have to go buy another one. I've been able to reuse this one now. This will be my third oil change on this gasket, so that's pretty good. I just leave it in there, and I'm going to clean the inside here out a little bit though. I'll blot it and get some of the oil out between that gasket and the cover, but that's all I'll do. And then of course I'll wipe this down as well, and then we'll end up filling it here pretty soon. So we got it drained, got my plug set up, stick it under there. Once again, I'm going to do it with my hand. You can get that one almost all the way in with your fingers, and it's the same size socket as the other side. There it is. That's it. Okay, so this is the little funnel that you can buy. I guess you can get them on Amazon or something. And it's made just for the Harley primaries. It's got this, it fits in this little notch up here. If you see it, look real close. And just fits down in there. And it makes it real easy to fill that once you measure out the right amount of oil that you're going to need for it. So I've got this handy dandy little ratio right cup. I'm sure you can buy these on Amazon too. And I'll get the manual here and show you the specifications for this bike. Okay, so like I said, this is where you need your owner's manual. It'll also give you cubic inches of the engine. Mine's a 103. So this one's 38 fluid ounces. And on this, you put exactly the amount of ounces that you're supposed to have. If you don't, you could either not get it in gear, or you'll never get it in neutral because it'll be too slippery inside of the primary. So it is 38 ounces. Now, if you take the whole chain case off, which would be this whole piece here, in case you don't know, then you have to put 45 ounces. But we're not doing that. All we did was take the clutch inspection cover off. So we'll find our 38 fluid ounces on the ratio right cup. There's our fluid ounces. And actually, we're not going to find our 38. We're going to put a quart in there, and then we're going to add 6 ounces, and we'll measure it out into the ratio right cup. So there's our ratio right. We're gonna get 6 ounces in there. Okay, so as you can see, I put a little bit more because even after I pour it in, there's going to be probably another, I don't know, ounce in the bottom of the cup. And that's always worked. I've never had a problem. So that's how I do that. Now we'll come over here. We're going to start out with a full quart. So what's nice about this is you can just pour it right in there. Okay, and then after that, we're going to pour what we have measured out. Our 6 ounces plus the 32 in a quart is going to make the 38 ounces that we need for the primary. Okay, now we're going to put the inspection cover back on. Some people put a mark on here and from, you know, like the first position, and that's fine. You know, if you want to make sure it's on it right. Mine still has a 103. It's a stock, so I know which way it goes on. Now here you got to be careful because this will pop out on you. So if you put that in there, you can get it started, and then it'll just hang while you put the rest of them in, like that. There is an order that you're supposed to do it in. So the top one, which is what I did, then we'll come down here to about the 7 o'clock position, then back up to like 2 o'clock, then straight across to 9 o'clock, and then back it down to about the 5 o'clock position. So once again, there's that one. This is following the diagram in your owner's manual. It's not even the service manual. This is in the service manual, but this comes with your bike, and you won't have to, you know, buy the service manual unless you want to do, you know, heavier type of work on your bike. Okay, there's all 5 of them on. Okay, so I tightened it up. It's really not that hard. Just stick it in there. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then you'll have it on. And that's basically it for an oil change. Now going back here, you can see the measuring cup. There's about an ounce left in there maybe, and that's why I go a little tiny bit over the 6 ounce mark. because you'll sit there and just let that drain for half an hour or so and never get it into the primary. So once we're done, we'll start it up and let it idle. You really can't check the oil effectively until the oil's hot. You're supposed to check your oil hot, and I'll do that in a couple days. I know the bike. I've been doing oil changes on it since I bought it, and in a couple days I'll probably have to add about 1/3 of a quart as it settles in and works through all the crankcase and everything. The primary you will not have to add any oil to. The same with the transmission. Usually I've never had it go down from what I put in. It's always the crankcase where some of the oil burns out of. So that's it. That's how you change the oil on a 2012 Street Glide. And hope you enjoy the video. Hope it helps you. I did want to let everybody know that we do have more maintenance tips and things that you can do on your own to save a whole bunch of money if you just want to spend a little bit of time working on your bike. Easy stuff. You don't need a lot of special tools for it. Most tools you can get on Amazon, have it shipped right to your house, not even have to go shop. But anyways, rumblingrider.com is my blog. We got maintenance tips, riding videos, and just basically motorcycle things dealing with tour riding. So once again, that's rumblingrider.com, and hope to see you there, and hope some of the videos help you.